Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be learning something about calligraphy. I'm sure everybody have heard about calligraphy, and at one point of life or the other you might have thought, if only I could write like this. This video is for all of those who love calligraphy and who want to try out calligraphy and have no idea about how to start. So let's get started. And if you're seeing this video for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos every Saturday, so stay tuned for more videos. So first thing is that there's a huge misconception that calligraphy can be done only by people who already have a really good handwriting, and that is absolutely wrong. Anybody who want to try calligraphy can try it, but you need to practice for a very long time. This is my normal handwriting and it honestly doesn't look that bad, but when you compare it to my calligraphy, this is like horrible. That you don't need to have an exceptionally outstanding handwriting to try your hands at calligraphy. What you need to do is to just write down something in your normal handwriting and then analyze how you're actually doing your lettering. Each alphabet, how are you moving, how are you writing? Everybody has different styles of writing alphabets. From our childhood we have been practicing how to write, and our handwriting remains constant all throughout, and that is because of muscle memory. So the key to calligraphy is muscle memory. Now, what exactly is muscle memory? This is my daughter. She came in between while I was shooting, and she said she also wants to write. You can see how she is holding her pencil and how she is writing. It is different for different people. For example, I hold the pen or pencil in a really different way because I have been practicing to do it that way from childhood. And also the letter formation that we learn, it is just imbibed into our hands because of the amount of practice that we have been doing all our life. What I would suggest or recommend from my experience is that instead of learning a different font altogether, you can slightly modify the one that you already have imbibed in your brain so that it is easier for your memory to adapt towards the new handwriting or calligraphy font that you're trying to do. So what I did when I started off my calligraphy and lettering journey is that I wrote down an entire paragraph and I analyzed how I am repeatedly writing the same alphabet. And then I picked out each alphabet and I wrote it separately, and I made an exemplar. An exemplar is like a worksheet which will have alphabets in small and alphabets in caps, and that will be like the format that you have to follow every time you practice. People want to learn calligraphy, but after a month of putting in effort they just leave it because it's not showing result. We keep switching fonts, like 2 days later you see some other Instagram post showing a really pretty font and you try that, and then the next day you try something else. You have to be constant in the way you practice. Only then you will get the results. So exemplar is a really good resource that you can make, and that will really help you till the end of your journey. Another question that every beginner keeps asking, even if it's calligraphy, watercolors, whatever be it, is what supplies do I use? I initially invested in a lot of supplies, but eventually when I understood the nuances of the calligraphy, I realized that the only supply that you actually need is a pencil. So pencil comes first, of course. For me, it's like the basic thing. The second option is brush pens. One of these is from Pentel and the other one is Tombow Fudenosuke, and both of these are fine tips. That means it is like a normal pen but with a bit of a flexible tip which gives you that variation in the thickness of the stroke when you're writing. So the Tombow one is actually available on Amazon for 110 rupees. So I think that's a pretty cheap option. If you're starting out and you want to practice, you can buy that. These are brush pens with a bit of wider nib. With watercolor brushes, it is same as this brush, but only thing is that you have to keep refilling your ink or watercolor, whatever you're using every time. And initially it might be a bit difficult for you to control the brush and the angle of the brush and all, but with practice you will get to it. And the last option is your dip nib pens, and I do not recommend these pens for beginners. So this is the exemplar sheet as I showed you earlier. This is my sheet and I keep following this. So when you start with your practice, I recommend that you go for a 4-line book. There are a lot of calligraphy drills worksheets and drills tutorials. So I'll just show you the alphabets and the basic drills that you really require. It's like alphabet A, B, C, D, E, G, O, P. All of these alphabets have one thing in common, and that is this oval shape. So for these alphabets, it's better you practice the oval shape. And for alphabets like H, M, N, you have to practice the inverted U and the U's. And for the balance alphabets, which involve longer lines, you have to practice this kind of a slanting line, like the integral sign kind of a line. So basically these are the strokes that you need to practice. You have the drills, and once you practice the shapes, the next thing is that when you are putting all the alphabets together into a word, all the alphabets have to have the same spacing and same slanting or angle when you're writing. So depending upon your handwriting or the font, you might be having a slanted font or you might be having a really vertical font. So it really depends upon your original handwriting and the exemplar that you have made. But it is always good to use a grid sheet. So there are a lot of calligraphy grid worksheets that's available, and if you don't have, also not at all an issue. Just make some slanting lines here and there with your scale and make sure that all your alphabets are roughly aligned to that slanting line. Another major issue that I found when I was learning calligraphy was that all the videos that I was watching, it were in 2x speed or 4 times speed, 6 times speed. So it kind of gives you an illusion that they're actually writing that fast. But in reality, calligraphy is an art. It's not like a handwriting. It's more like an art. You have to take your time and patience. Even a single stroke takes so much time in writing. Once you have completed a certain amount of practice of all your alphabets, then you can start adding your own touch to each of the alphabets. Maybe it's like a bounce or it's like a flourish. I hope you like this video, and if you are thinking about starting your calligraphy practice, I want to tell you that please have the patience. Practice is the key. Take your supplies. A basic pencil is more than enough for you to start, but keep practicing for at least 10 or 20 minutes every day. Just at least write your alphabets once every day. So please invest your time. Time is an investment in calligraphy. Keep practicing, and please don't feel overwhelmed by all the videos that other calligraphers are sharing. They have had their share of practice over the years to reach where they are. So you have to keep practicing for yourself, because nobody else is going to do that practice for you. Also, if you want a little bit more information about calligraphy and lettering and practices, please do visit my blog at thecraftyangels.com. I have shared a few resources on my blog, so you can go and check it out as well. That's it for today's video. See you next time. Until then, it's bye-bye. And also guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Bye-bye.